Hi everyone. Thank you for joining. Thanks for waiting. It took me a bit of a time to come on live. Um, so thanks for waiting and thanks for joining. Hi Karishma. Hi Kripa. Hi to everyone who's saying hi. Today I'm going to talk about something that's been a question by so many of you recently. So many of you have been asking, how do you improve your grammar? And especially after the last live I did, the previous one was about vocabulary. So I think the next step is grammar. I think that goes really well, and I thought, why not? So let's talk about five ways that you can improve your grammar skills. And I'll keep the questions in the end. So if you are new here, I do like a 10-15 minute session first, and I will answer your questions in the end. So I just want to type that out before people start getting all weird. Answering your questions after a 15-minute session. I just hope everyone's having a great day. I can't believe it's Thursday already. Like, where has the week gone? Okay. So today is all about grammar, and if you have, I'm going to give you 5 ways to improve your grammar, and if you have tried those ways, then I just want you to give a thumbs up about, yes, I have tried this one, okay? So I want to keep it simple. Hopefully this is something that's easily accessible for you as well, and you can just get right to it. So let's begin. As usual, questions after the session. Okay, so the first thing is the most simplest thing you can do to improve your grammar, and that's reading. Okay, so read more and more to improve your grammar. See, I understand that a lot of people, when they talk about grammar skills, it's in terms of writing. I understand that. It's in terms of making certain technical errors in the content or in emails or messages, things like that. But if you notice, if you do kind of struggle with grammar, you may notice that you have a similar kind of way of speaking as well. So let's try to get rid of that. Let's try to get rid of the problem from the root, I guess. And let's keep that in mind while I share these 5 ways, that everything is going to tackle the grammar issues at the root, rather than try to get quick hacks and fixes to just kind of learn grammar. Okay, so the first way is to read. So read a lot of books, and while you're reading, focus on the grammar that's being used. And by grammar, I mean focus on the punctuation, focus on the tenses, focus on the capitalization. I know a lot of people make errors in capitalization, and that can lead to such a vast miscommunication if you don't capitalize certain things, or if you do end up capitalizing certain things. So in that sense, do think about that as well. Look at the tenses, look at the voice, active, passive. Consider all the basic elements that will help you in your day-to-day life, in your day-to-day usage of grammar. And there are a lot more things, of course. There are things like knowing nouns, adverbs, adjectives, verbs, all of those things, and then knowing how do they fit with each other, how do they work together in forming a sentence. But I think those are still a bit more of the next step kind of thing. So for now, let's focus on things that you will actually use, which includes punctuation and tenses, and also the voice, active and passive voice. Okay, so I hope that helps. The second one is that you have to go back to the basics. As I said, we are going to tackle the issues of grammar at the root, not just try to find a quick fix that will help you just instantly write better content, right? So if you want to tackle the problem at the root, you have to go back to the foundations and the basics of that thing. So let's step back and go back to the very basics of grammar. And what I mean by basics of grammar is, go back to school books. And you can easily find these online as well. You can find them for free. You can find worksheets which are used for students of class 3rd, 4th, 5th and above. You can find those worksheets online, sit down and actually solve them. and most likely you will also find an answer key to that. So after you're done, just kind of cross check and see what errors you've made. The reason I recommend going in for, you know, these school books and school worksheets is because they are very, very structured. In class 3, you're studying only specific things. You're studying what nouns are, what verbs are, what adjectives are. I think that goes on to like class 4, class 5. In like say class 4, class 5, you learn also how to make use of these things, how to make use of these elements and how they work well together. Then going on ahead, you learn how to form better sentences. You learn how to communicate better in terms of taking care of, you know, the tone, the voice, the emotion, all of those things that are coming through your content. So this is a step-by-step process, and it's so much easier to follow, and it's so much easier to identify where you're going wrong. So if you start with a step-by-step process, if you start with, you know, class 3, class 4, class 5, you'll realize that, hey, class 3 has these things, and wait, I'm good at these. I got, like, you know, I'm able to do this properly. So let me move on to the next and let me focus here. And that's how you keep growing. And just don't do this just once. Keep doing it in, you know, multiple times a day. Do it for a long period of time. Do it every single day, at least 30 minutes spend, you know, answering a questionnaire or something, and really be involved in the process. And I think that should really work very well. It has worked for me. I mean, there were certain things that while teaching students or while teaching my sister about her, from her grammar book, I realized that, okay, you know, where do you put commas, and what are clauses, and what are, you know, the different types of clauses, how do you use grammar according to those things. So yes, school books are definitely a good, you know, place to go back to. All right, the third thing is using the Grammarly free version. So I guess I did speak about this in some of the previous lives, and I think that this is one of the best ways that I have really improved on my style of writing rather than just grammar. So what I do is, I do not have a premium version of Grammarly. I have a free version, and just whenever I write a piece of content, this free, and I check it after I write, which is something important. You don't edit while writing, you edit after writing. And I do the check, and then it has like a red circle, and it shows that there are some premium errors made, so errors that I cannot see, but it does tell me that there are 3 errors in active and passive voice. There are 3 errors where I have used colloquialism. There are 3 errors where I've done this and that. So whatever may seem odd, I know there is something wrong, but I don't know what. So what I do is, I go through my piece of content even with more more focus, and I go through every single line all over again, and then I start actively editing it myself. So not only am I correcting those errors, but I am doing the task of finding those errors, and then figuring out how to correct those errors. So this is a very good learning process, especially since you have to put in the work. You have to spend like at least 30-40 minutes extra to figure this out. And I think that this could really, be a unique and be a independent way of learning of sorts, where you are actively involved in the piece you're writing and how to make it better, or rather best as possible. So that's the third thing, that you can try the free version of Grammarly and pick on any suggestions it makes. Okay, fourth is to buy a grammar book. If you do not have a grammar book, get a book for grammar, specifically for grammar, and use that. Just keep it next to you, even if you're not doing anything, just keep it next to you. And every time you've written something, just cross-check your, or anytime you're stuck, anytime something feels odd to read, just cross-check it by going in that section of the book. I think nowadays it has become very handy to do it on the laptop or on the internet itself. But I think a book is a better way, because you're actually learning and you're not just looking for solutions directly, right? So you are actually, again, you are doing the work of first identifying the problem, searching for it in the book, and then finding the method to correct it rather than just directly the solution. So a book, having a grammar book next to you, is also a good way to do it. Okay, so I'm, I think, on the fifth one. Okay, the fifth one is that you proofread all your content by reading it out loud. And this is a very fun way, especially if you are good with, you know, spoken grammar but you struggle to write. Then what you can do is you can just read it out loud. Even better, you can have the speech thing, speech thingy on. So basically you turn on you select the text, you turn on the speech, and it will read it out to you, and you can just close your eyes and listen to it instead of, you know, actively reading it even. And this way you pay attention to what may seem odd, what may sound odd, and then you correct those errors. So proofread by listening to it, and then you kind of make some changes in your content. So that I hope that helps you out as well. So those are few ways that you can improve your grammar skills. And overall, I would also say that you should focus more on, like, this is something I think that applies for everything, whether you want to improve writing, vocabulary, grammar, speaking, whatever it may be. You should focus on listening to more people speak in English. If you're looking for English grammar, listen to more people speak in English. It could be in, I don't think songs are a good idea though, because some songs just don't have good grammar. Do not rely on songs. Movies are good. So you can go in for like movies, animated movies especially. They even have a very clear voice, so it's easy to follow as well. So you can watch movies. You can read books. You can listen to audiobooks. That's also a good way. You know, again, the whole listen to yourself proofread or something like that. And just be more aware of anybody who's around you speaking English and how they speak grammar. And another thing is, not only should you be learning from them, but if somebody makes errors in their grammar, you should be able to identify them. I don't mean that you go and tell them that, hey, you know, this should have been had, not has, or, you know, have, not has. But that's not what I mean. But just if you can just catch that error, it means you are growing in terms of how you understand and how you use grammar. And this is something I do with one of my friends, and she does get very annoyed, but she expects that from me. She still makes that mistake between has and have, but she's aware she's making that mistake. And as soon as she says that to me, the next thing she says is, wait, you know, has with an asterisk. So the idea is to just kind of listen to people, and not only how they are doing it right, but also what you think they may be making errors in. Depending on the person, you can point it out to them. If you don't know them well, please do not point it out. So yeah, those are a few ways that you can improve your grammar. And now I will be taking questions. While you type in your questions, it could be in the comment box, it could be in the caption, in the comments itself. I will just give a run through of what we talked about today. So 5 ways to improve grammar. First is to read more and really pay attention to the tone, voice, all the grammar things involved. Second is to go back to the basics. So pick up a school book or pick up a school worksheet and really get yourself involved in it. The third is to try out the Grammarly free version and make changes based on suggestions, not markings. Fourth is to use an actual physical grammar book. Just keep it next to you. So many of them will be like this thick, completely fine. Just keep it next to you and use it while writing. Fifth thing is to proofread by reading out loud, or use a text-to-speech feature on your phone or on your device. And while it's reading it out to you, just pay attention to the grammar as well. And overall, the bonus tip is to just be more aware and be more attentive of people speaking or using English in terms of especially real people in movies and even in audiobooks, and try to learn from it and also identify the errors that they're possibly making. So I hope this helps you out. And now you can ask your questions. So any questions that you may have, let's start answering them. Okay. I'm so confused. Guys, today's live is about grammar. So let's keep it to grammar. Let's ask questions about grammar itself. Okay. Just want to find something. Okay. Okay, Okay, I'm going to get rid of this comment. Is a Grammarly premium worth it? If you do use it a lot, I mean, worth is completely dependent on you. If you use it, if you need it, how actively will you use it? You can think about that. Hi Shreya, while writing and when you're representing is a brand, is it okay to write in passive voice or is active voice preferred? See, if you're writing about a brand, especially in terms of web content, I would prefer active voice, that we do this, we will do this for you, we can do this for you, instead of going back that we have done this for our past clients. I would recommend using active voice. Again, completely depends on the context as well. Completely depends on what kind of content you are writing. If it has something to do with a story, you can probably use the passive voice. But then when you are coming to the call to action, aim to keep it an active voice so that people know that it is about the now and like right now that matters. Devashri is asking, is it necessary to use very heavy or difficult words while writing an article and blog? It is not necessary at all. It's important that your article makes sense, first of all, that everything kind of fits together properly and it doesn't end up just feeling like a collection of keywords of sorts. So keep it easy to read, and it doesn't matter, like I just did a live on vocabulary, you can check that out. And I have talked about the fact that it doesn't matter what word you use, it matters how you use it. And you can also check out one of my recent tweets, which I have uploaded as a screenshot on Instagram as well, where I've used the word start in many different ways to like evoke different emotions. So you can think about that and see how you can use the same thing again and again. Okay, Miloni has asked if Wren Martin is a good book for grammar. I was actually going to recommend the same thing. I think some people asked about books above, and yes, Wren Martin, they have a grammar book. Check that out and make the most of it. If you like, I think that book should be like one in all, so it should solve all of your problems. So go in for that. Look at Wren Martin books. Yes, I mean, I'm glad that a lot of people are aware of this. Karishma is asking, Grammarly free version also suggests replacing a word. Yes, because sometimes that's what I spoke again in yesterday's vocabulary session, that not every word, even if it's a synonym of the word that seems perfect, not every word is supposed to be used in the same sentence, right? So you may use a particular word, but actually its synonym may be a much better fit. So you have to be careful about that as well, because usage of word very important in terms of the context, in terms of the tone and the emotion it brings about, in terms of just how it sounds, and some things just don't fit well. So yeah, you should replace some words. Hi Shreya, how are you? I'm always confused about when to use has been had. Has been had. Khushi single. Has been had, like one sentence. I'm trying to think of sentences now. I feel like what I can think of is like dinner has been had, like by all of us, something like that maybe. I cannot really think of sentences top of my head for this particular thing, but you can probably DM me after this and you can tell me exactly what issue you're facing, and we can talk about it. I would also recommend you like just doing a simple Google search about how to use has been had, and look at the examples. Don't do anything, don't understand the technical part of it, don't understand how it is used, where it is used. Only look at examples, look at 10-15 examples and try yourself to identify a trend between these examples. Like, what do you think was similar between these examples to make the sentence possible to use has been had? Okay. Right, so you can think of that. So you can Google that, and then then after you've understood that, then dive into the explanation and the technicality of how to use that. I hope that will help. Okay. Butterbeer is butterbeer. Okay. I always get stuck with past perfect and future perfect tense. How can I practice that? Again, go to the worksheets of school students, go to the grade, or go to the, basically just type past tenses. Okay, worksheet for tenses, a grammar, class 5. Try that out, see the worksheets, work on those, check the answers, and go from there. So practice, actually write and practice that. Kushi is asking, hi, when to use S with words like makes or make, lives or live, and so on. Okay. Makes is used for singular. Make is used for plural. Anything that's singular is usually accompanied by an S. So, okay. She makes breakfast. They make breakfast. I don't know why all my examples are about food. I'm probably hungry. But yeah, she makes breakfast. They make breakfast. Him and her make a good team. Him and her, because we're talking about two people here. Sometimes it gets confusing here because, you know, him and her. So you are using her, make. So you have to make sure that you're focusing on the collective, the collective noun rather than just one person. Him and her, or A, B, and C make the first 3 letters of the alphabet, right? So that's basically, if it's one, then you use makes. No, if it's one, you use she makes. And if there's more than one, you use they make. And lives. Okay, lives, I guess. She lives, they live. That's actually pretty confusing because it just... okay, so she lives on food, they live on food, we live on food. So something like that. Basically, it's about how many people are involved. One person, then an S is added. If it's more than one person, more than one thing, more than one object that you're talking about, then you don't add an S. Hope that helps. It was a bit confusing. It's just been a while since I've actually, thought about these things. When he will come or when will he come? When will he come is the correct question, because when he will come is a sentence. I will talk to him when he will come, or rather when he will arrive here. But when you are asking a question, you should usually start with the question words like how, when, why, where. This is also actually a very common error that I've seen, that you just add the question word somewhere in the sentence and then you add a question mark in the end, but that's not how you form questions. So when will he come? So yeah, just focus on when, will, how will, and use it that way. It's pretty confusing. Okay. My friend asked me to help them in learning English, but I don't know where I should start and what should I teach. Again, go back to the school books. Super fun, super useful way. Atish is saying, unrelated but cool t-shirt, Shreya. Thank you. Can you make out that this smile is made by a pen? That sticker came out, so this is made by a pen. Okay. Shreya, I use Grammarly very often, but it suggests you use a comma before and, but generally we don't. Okay, this is very interesting. I love talking about this. There's this thing called an Oxford comma. So basically an Oxford comma is something that you use before and also. Okay, before and. So this is very fun because I love commas. A lot of my writing involves so many commas because I really like breaking things down and making them easier to read, giving those pauses. And this whole and thing is honestly a very controversial part of grammar and people still debate on how to use it. Let me tell you how to use it, okay? So when you're using and, you are kind of separating certain things from other things. So when you're using a comma after and, you're separating those two sections. Like, I'm just trying to think of something. Okay, I'm going to do a quick Google search so that I can actually explain it properly in terms of examples. Okay, Oxford, comma, example. So I just want to find an example. Okay, right. Okay. So there is this good sentence. I just did a Google search of Oxford, comma, example. I would like to look at modern art, go kayaking. No, wait, this is or. Wait. Sorry. One second. Okay. Right. Okay. Please bring me a pencil, comma, eraser and notebook. So when you say, please bring me a pencil, comma, eraser and notebook, you're saying, okay, bring me a pencil and bring me an eraser and notebook together. Okay. When you say, please bring me a pencil, comma, eraser, comma, and notebook, you're saying that you bring a pencil, you bring an eraser, and you bring a notebook. So you're separating things. And this Oxford comma is used for that separation. It's used to make things easier and, kind of make them individual rather than collective things. And this is especially useful when you're using sentences where comma is not just like, pencil, pen and notebook. It's not one word. It is after multiple collections of words. So if you talk about collection of words, like I like baking cake, comma, cookies, and okay, I'm thinking of something. I like, this is so challenging to think of things like this. So see, the main idea is that the comma before and is used to make this entire next part separate from everything else that was behind it. And this is the simplest way I could explain it. So, pen, pencil, notebook. If you say pen, comma, pencil and notebook, bring a pencil and notebook together. If you say pen, comma, pencil, comma, and notebook, then you bring pen, pencil, notebook, like that. That's, I think, the difference. I don't know if this is helping. If this is helping, please just give me a thumbs up because I really don't understand, like, if this is proving useful. How to use would have been and could have been. Guys, you're getting so technical. This was about how to learn grammar, and I know how to use these, but explaining things is so challenging. Especially, I don't do this every day. How to use would have been and could have been. This is also a very good question. Okay, this is actually something I noticed in one of Taylor Swift's songs. I was actually paying attention to that. I think the song is called The One, which is from her latest album, Folklore. And in that, she sings that it would have been fun if you could have been the one, right? So it's like, if you could, like that is a question. If you could have been the one, then it would have been fun. So would is like a certainty that it definitely would go a certain way. Whereas if you're talking about if it could, then maybe, if you could. So if you could be the one, like if you could be the one for me, then it would have been fun. So if you could, meaning you may or may not, but if you would, if you could be the one, then you are definitely going to, then it's definitely going to be fun, right? So it would have been fun if you could have been the one. Pretty sure those are the lyrics. So only because I was thinking about this yesterday. So go and listen to that song also. When is your next ebook coming? I'm still working on it. It's been wild in the past 2-3 weeks. I'm even writing an ebook for my client. So it's been super busy. I'm still working on my ebook though. It's coming out soon. Hopefully in the next few days. Should we use capital alphabet word after a comma? No, you don't have to capitalize things after a comma. Only if it's a proper noun. If you're using a name or, like God or something that should be capitalized, then you use a capital alphabet. Another thing, okay, this is also a very interesting thing. I watched this movie yesterday called Enola Holmes, and it just came out on Netflix. And in that, like Sherlock, Enola and Mycroft, they all refer to their mother as mother, okay? And I was watching the movie with the subtitles on, and every time they referred to mother, the M was capital. Now normally, you say mother, like my mother, and then you don't capitalize M, right? So why was that M capital? It was correct. The M was capital because when they said mother, they were referring to their mother. They were referring to a particular person, not just any mother. So even in that context, you have to be careful with capitalization. If you are talking about a particular someone, if you're talking about certain mother, then that M will be capital because it becomes a proper noun. So that's how it works. some very interesting things that I I think of while I'm reading. See, this is what I mean. If you watch movies with subtitles, most of these subtitles also have correct grammar, so you can even use those, but mostly on Netflix, not on other websites. A lot of questions. How to use on a guys, you're just getting a free, like you're getting a grammar class from me right now. Like, you're just asking me how to use these different prepositions. If you find it confusing, please use the methods that I've told you in the beginning of this live, which is supposed to be about the how. Okay. Neeraj, I understand you're late, but you don't worry, you can watch this live on the IGTV later on. Okay. Many people here want to learn English grammar, but sorry, this session is not for learning grammar, but for improving it. Yes, this is for improving it. And in terms of improving, it means that even if you struggle, if you don't know certain parts of grammar, I've given you the ways to learn them. I know asking me is the most convenient way to do it, but again, you have to understand, as I said, no quick fixes, no hacks. You have to go back to the basics and learn those. Okay. What's the difference between shall and will? This is also like, shall is usually used in legal terms where something has to definitely happen. Again, like this is 110% it shall happen. Will meaning it's something that you are predicting in sorts. Like you're saying that it will happen in the future. Shall happen is like definite thing that it definitely shall happen. I don't know if this helps. Okay. Joe J&J. I'm not sure why you call me Potter. I think it's fun, but it's not really that fun. I mean, I don't get it. Wren Martin or word power made easy. Both are very different. Word power made easy is very good for learning new words and for being a quick thinker in terms of words, all of those things. But like a combination of both would be amazing. Go in for that. Can you tell us how to practice using past participle of verbs? Yes, I can. And I will tell you this, that once this live is saved, please go back, watch the starting of the live, and that is how you can practice past participle of verbs. See, I don't remember these things, right? You don't remember the technical things after a point. You know how to use them. You remember the rules, but you don't remember certain words or examples. I'm preparing for IELTS, so I was a bit confused. Should I use strong vocab there or easy to understand words? You should use what makes sense to you. Do not use something that you do not know the meaning of. Definitely do not do that. IELTS is all about, honestly, it's about preparing. I gave the IELTS and it's all about answering, preparing by answering as many questions as possible in terms of mock paper. Once you understand the pattern, once you understand how, what kind of questions are asked, you will get an idea of, even how to frame your answers. So definitely practice question papers. I often get confused between when to use full stop and comma. I mean, I know the purpose, but I do struggle with them. Okay, so full stop is basically end of sentence. Comma is when you still want to continue something, right? So, you said full stop and okay, the semi what's it called? I forgot. I'm sorry. Semi comma. I'm just going to call it semi comma for now. But the full stop and then the semicolon, is that? Semicolon, right? Okay. So full stop is like the end. A semicolon, I like to use it to separate when I'm using, chunks of words together. So instead of using comma, if I'm not using I want a pen, comma, pencil, comma, and notebook. Instead of that, if I'm using, I want a pen that works, I want a pen with blue ink, comma. Instead of comma, I will use the semicolon. I want a pen that works with blue ink, comma, and has a cap on it, semicolon. I want a notebook that is double-lined and comma and is A4 size, semicolon, and so and so. Right, so I use it to kind of separate things out. This is, colon and the full stop and semicolon is a challenging thing. So I would recommend looking at examples and trying to learn from those. Also, last question. Sorry, I know I'm asking way too much, but how to make the best use of dictionary? I mean, by learning and reading each page. Yes, you can learn, like you can read each page. You can just flip through it. Otherwise, pick up something that you like and use that. Just kind of as in how you keep flipping through it. Girish is asking, is there any way to make reading a grammar book interesting? You don't read a grammar book, you apply, like you use a grammar book. So don't just sit and read it. Have a pen and paper handy and write examples, write down the rules, circle things, especially like write down full sentences, mark out different things, like mark out what is the subject, what is the object, what is the clause, why was a comma used here, why should you have used a full stop there. All of those things, actually actively be involved in the process. It is very, very important. How did you prepare for TOEFL? I have not given the TOEFL. I have given the SAT and the IELTS. And for SAT, it was, I think, 2.5 months of preparation with, Khan Academy's questions. Very easy and good way to learn. And for the IELTS, I solved 4 question papers, which was in one single book. And I think that was it. Okay. Okay, Wren. Payal, I already answered your question about Wren and Martin or word power made easy. If you can go in for both, then that's great. People use exclamation point almost everywhere. I'm confused with it. Exclamation point is used for surprise, right? As it says, it's an exclamation like, oh, yes, I won. Or in my case, I met the CEO of LinkedIn, like adding 3 exclamation points. So it's a matter of excitement. It's a matter of, expressing an exclamation, simply put. Reading newspaper may prove to be helpful for grammar. Yes, I guess that's also a good way. Like reading anything would help. The Hindu newspaper, yeah, that might be a good one as well. Payal, Wren and Martin or word power made easy. You've asked this the 3rd time, and I'm going to tell you for the 3rd time that Wren and Martin is specifically for grammar. Word power made easy is for words rather than just grammar. So it's about thinking, it's about coming up with words, knowing words. So do not use, like if you want to go for one, then go for one. But if you do both, then you're going to just have a really strong command over English. So going for both is what I recommend. I hope that answers your question. I answered it 3 times, okay? Okay. Any tips for IELTS? It's sample papers. Solve sample papers. Buy the ebooks, buy the books from Amazon. You'll get so many if you just type IELTS mock papers and sit and solve them. Please time yourself, because the IELTS is very, like, you have to write a lot within like 3 hours, and you feel like 3 hours is a lot of time. It's not. You will end up rushing and things like that. So please time yourself in the questions. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. That was a lot of questions, a lot of technical questions. Everybody has just put me in the spot here. Okay. Psycho is asking, should people buy Grammarly Premium? It completely depends on you if you want to. I recommend using the free version, as I said, because then you are involved actively into finding your errors and then finding your own way to solve them. Yes, I will get back to DMs. I have so many DMs. I am telling you, especially this past 1 week has been completely packed. So I will definitely get back soon. Just please be patient, everyone. All right, that's it. So that's it for today's live. Thank you so much for joining. I hope this helps you improve your grammar. I hope you apply these things. And if you do, and if it works out for you, just message me, share it on your story, tag me, whatever you like. Just let me know, because I do want to hear how you use all these tips. And that's all for now. I think I have a live tomorrow with Dhruvisha, and it's at 2:30 p.m. my time, so 2:30 p.m. BST or 7 p.m. IST. I will share more details in the story. But yeah, please join tomorrow's live then, and have a great Friday tomorrow, and have a great weekend. So I'll see you soon, and bye bye everyone.